Hi, Marie here. I didn't post a video this weekend because I was running around doing a bunch of stuff and I didn't have time. So I figured I'd just do kind of like a quick fun one today, more in the middle of the week, which is going to be less thought out than some of my other videos and a little bit more disheveled. Found a crumb in my hair a minute ago. I'm pretty sure my students might have been throwing crumbs at me or something today. But that's okay. This video will be another book haul. So I got a bunch of books, even though I probably shouldn't be spending all this money on books, but I am. So I just figured I'd show some of them, say what I think is interesting, and that'll be the video. So if you want to see some books, stick around. Okay, so one book that I got. Oh, also, I got all these books on Book Outlet, so they were all $6, which was pretty awesome, which is why I bought so many. But I didn't know anything about it before, and now I do, and I feel like it's a pretty good deal, so feel free to check it out. So I got this book by Hank Green, which I've been wanting to get for a while. I love Hank Green. I actually don't really know anything about this book. And I don't think I'm not gonna look. So I'm not gonna be able to tell you what I think is interesting about it, other than that Hank Green wrote it, and I've read a bunch of John Green books, and I really like Hank. So I'll be interested to see how his book is. The next one is The Invisible Library. I had heard about this book a while ago and thought about reading it. It's basically about these spy librarians who go to alternate realms and they're trying to find some important book and it's stolen, and they have to go through all these different things and fight people and the secrets apparently. So this just sounds like it would be fun to read, and I like alternate realities and that kind of thing. So is it alternate realities? I don't know. It says different realities. So we'll see. But anyway, I think this looks cool. Then I got Fractal Noise by Christopher Poloni. I have never read him before. I've wanted to read To Sleep in a Sea of Stars for a long time. I think I have it on Kindle, but I don't really like reading books on Kindle. I like reading physical books so much more. So I haven't been reading on there in a long time. I've mostly been doing physical books if I can. So anyway, this was only $6, and I know he's popular, and it sounds cool because it's about these astronauts who can travel the universe, and they find some weird thing on the surface of a planet that they don't understand, so they're going to figure it out. But the way that the back reads is it seems like it's really about the people and what they're gonna learn and about their past lives, and I love that kind of thing. So so I think I'm gonna like this. Even just the last two sentences are: each step they take toward the mysterious abyss is more punishing than the last, and the ghosts of their past follow. So yeah, it gives me the impression that this is gonna be a very human story about these people's lives and kind of what they're coming to understand about themselves. So I think this one will be good. Then I have never heard of this, The Cautious Traveler's Guide to the Wastelands by Sarah Brooks. This just popped up and I looked at what it was about and it sounded really cool, and it was $6, so I bought it. So yeah, this one is about a train that travels through these wastelands, and it just says something previously went wrong with it, and now there's new passengers and something crazy is going to happen with them, and something about the wastelands is dangerous, and it's pressing in on them. Yeah. So, and then the last line says, can the passengers trust one another as the wilderness outside threatens to consume them all? So, definitely going to be some issues with the relationships between the passengers and like who can rely on who. So, I thought that sounded cool, and it's fantasy and historical fiction. And I love fantasy and I love historical fiction. And I haven't read very many. I'm trying to think if I've read any, but I definitely haven't read very many books that are a mixture of fantasy and historical fiction, so I think that'll be cool. Then I got Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, which I actually have listened to the audiobook of this already, like a couple, 3 years ago maybe, and I was obsessed with the audiobook. Like, I love this book so much. I have a master's degree in philosophy, so this is where it's at for me. So I've been wanting to get the paperback version of it for a really long time so I can actually read it because I love it so much, and I want to mark it up and save sections and write my thoughts and do all that stuff. So now I finally got it, and I got it for a good price, so I'm really happy about that. If you don't know anything about this book, it's very philosophical, but it also has a storyline going through it that sort of, as you go through the story, you also learn the philosophy. The main guy here is a philosopher. He studied lots of philosophy, and he's going through this journey with his son, and there's a whole other aspect to it that I'm not going to say because it'll ruin it, but it's really cool. Well, I don't know if I want to say cool. It's really interesting, and I found it moving, and I loved everything about it. I loved him explaining the philosophy, the journey that he's taking with his son, his thoughts, like the way that it's looking into different ideas about like humanity and identity and all these really interesting aspects. So yeah, this book's great, especially if you like philosophy. If you don't like philosophy, I think it might be hard to get through, but if you do, it's amazing. Then I have Fever Dream by George R.R. Martin, which I didn't really know any of the other books that George R.R. Martin had written. I just never really looked into them. And then I saw some people say that this is about vampires and that it's really good. And I like vampires, and I like George R.R. Martin, and it's its own novel. It's not a series, so when it ends, it will end. So I'm excited about this. I think I'm going to like it a lot. It's going to be cool. And they're on a steamship, which I've never read about vampires on a steamship. So it sounds different. So I'm excited. Then there's this one, which I have on a wish list, but I don't remember putting it on there or why. But I bought it. So this is a horror novel, The Haunting of Velkwood by Gwendolyn Kist, I think. So I don't really know what this one is about either, except for that it is a horror book. And it was on, and it says all these people are praising it for being an amazing ghost story. So we'll see. Hopefully it's good. Then the last one that I got, this one I did not get from the book outlet. This one I just bought because I wanted it, and there was no way to get it cheap. So around me anyway. So I just bought this one. I don't know if you can tell of like the sparkliness of the cover, but I didn't know that it was like that, and I don't know, I think it's really cool. I like it. But so this is The Poet Empress, and I've heard a bunch of good things about it, so I wanted to read this. It's fantasy. Books with Billy recommended it, and I think she said it was one of her favorite reads, and so far of the year. So yeah, so I wanted to check it out, and I think it's going to be a good time. Then, so those are all the books I bought. I don't know, hopefully you find them interesting, or you found something interesting in there. Right now, before I start any of these or the million other books that I have to read, I'm reading The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin. And I've never read anything by Le Guin, even though I know she's hugely popular and people love her fantasy and her sci-fi. But I picked this one first, and I'm a little less than halfway. It's really different than anything I've read. I am really enjoying it. I think the exploration of the ideas is two worlds, and you can travel between them in this realm. So, and the worlds are very different in the makeup of their societal structure and economic structure and that kind of thing, political structure. So it's really sort of like looking at these two different ways of life and structuring society, which, especially right now, we live in a chaotic society. I'm finding it really intriguing, and I like thinking about these disparate ways of life. So I'll probably make a video on this once I'm done. So if you've read it and you liked it, or if you're thinking about reading it, then you can, look for my video on it that will be coming up soon. Not this weekend, but, probably maybe the weekend after. I'll be writing about this, but it's definitely a book that's going to make you think, and it's given me lots of ideas, so I'm going to have some things to say about it. Well, that's all. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've read any of these books that I mentioned, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you thought they were good, if there's one that you would recommend me to read above the other ones or to read first, then I'd love to know. Okay, thanks. See ya.